Welcome to another episode of the Terri and Frank Show, where we've been talking about the human factors of leadership. I know many of you have enjoyed this series. We continue to bring up more and more interesting topics. Knowing the human factors of leadership, if you're a leader, is super important. Understanding how talent really works is also very important if you're a collaborator. You have to work with people, an individual contributor. So hi, I'm Frank Warner. I'm the founder of People Productive. We're a company that helps organizations most effectively use the time, talent, energy of their people. Nothing matters more in this digital era. Terri?
Hello, and I'm Terri Mays. I'm a certified culture engineer with focus on bringing out the human side of business.
So today we're going to talk about something that's of value to everyone. You can use this as a tool as a leader, or as an individual, you can feel much more confident asking for advice and guidance. So I'm going to just quickly share my screen as we always do, talk about some of the science here. Okay, smart people ask for my advice. Seeking advice boosts perceptions of competence. This is predominantly a Harvard Business School study, but you can see Maurice Schweitzer's from Wharton. This is a paper they put together. Here's the abstract. Although individuals can derive substantial benefits from exchanging information ideas, many individuals are reluctant to seek advice from others. Whew, wow, haven't we seen that right there?
Right.
We find that people are reticent to seek advice for fear of appearing incompetent. The fear, however, is misplaced. We demonstrate that individuals perceive those who seek advice as more competent than those who do not seek advice. The effect is moderated by task difficulty, advisor egocentrism, and advisor expertise. Individuals perceive those who seek advice as more competent when the task is difficult than when it's easy, when people seek advice from them personally than when they seek advice from others, and when people seek advice from experts as opposed to non-experts or not at all. So this does really matter in the workplace.
Absolutely.
So don't be afraid to seek advice. Don't hesitate. And as a leader, encourage people to help one another, share information. So let's dig into this, Terri. What's your takeaway?
So I think this is a great illustration of how important it is for people to seek advice and to ask those questions, to be in an environment where they feel safe enough to do so. This is a strong benefit that you can add to your leadership tools set to be able to create an environment where people feel comfortable, they feel safe enough. They don't feel like they're going to be penalized in any way, or somebody will look down on them and think that they're not as smart as somebody else. It's quite the opposite. When you ask questions, it's showing that you're processing the information that you're receiving, and you're making sure that you truly understand it. Being able to ask a question means that you understand. And so it gives that appearance of being more knowledgeable, because it shows that you're actively going through the steps of processing that information. And so you want to create that environment where people feel safe enough to ask those questions, where they can share their opinions. A lot of times as a leader, it's easy to make a decision about something, but be open to allowing other people to give you feedback and to give you their thoughts about a decision that you need to make. Sometimes it's good to get that feedback because they help you think through things in a way that you may not have thought through on your own. Not to say that your decision would have been the wrong one or incomplete in any way, but sometimes when you talk to other people about things, they share perspectives that you don't have, which is yet another reason why you want to have a diverse team. You don't want to have everybody thinking the same way. You want to have different perspectives, because it really does give you a better outcome.
Yeah, I mean, seeking advice and guidance and having an organization where people feel encouraged to do that greatly advances the speed of work. Everybody needs help. It's human to need help. And it's nice to see that you can actually have your level of esteem raised by reaching out to people and asking for advice and guidance. You should encourage in your organization as a leader helping behaviors. Helping behaviors greatly increase the speed of work. There are many forms of helping behaviors. You know, being one of those go-to people who gives people advice and guidance because you have a lot of institutional knowledge is extremely valuable. So you want to build that type of culture where this is encouraged. And this research study is a tool. You know, you could say, we need people to help one another. You could pull this out. You could share it with the organization. You can find it right on the web. and let people know that not only is this important to the success of the organization, but they're all going to be perceived better. Humans love to have their esteem raised.
Yes.
So, you're allowing, people's esteem levels are going up. They're being perceived better by the organization, and encourage it. This is a very important tool, actually.
It is. You want that environment where people feel like they can share, that they don't
Mhm.
have to hoard information, because it really does slow down the work. But when you have a
Yeah.
new person coming into the environment, for example, you want to have the type of environment where they share openly and they share all of the tips and the tricks quickly, so that person can come up to speed quickly. And they're not
Mhm.
wasting time learning things that people have already learned, and learning those tricks and shortcuts that someone could have easily shared with them. You want to make sure you're sharing those right away so that people can come up to speed quickly and add value to the team quicker.
Yeah,
So,
it's hugely important. I'm sorry I cut you off.
oh no, I
Oh,
was just saying it's important. It is
yeah.
absolutely, you're absolutely right. It's so important. You don't want to waste time on things or having people solve problems that have already been solved, or
Yeah, so
trying to
true.
figure something out that's already been figured out, when the team could work together and use that brain power for something much more important.
Yeah, you want a helping organization, one where people share. Because people come with industry knowledge. They come with technical skills and things that you can get generally in the industry, but the only place to get institutional knowledge is right there. And institutional knowledge is the thing that really makes work move fast. So people need to share that. When people are onboarded, like Terri says, yes, you want to make sure that they don't have to go through the pain of learning stuff that other people have learned and struggled through. Share the knowledge, share the information, share how do we work here, share how do we work together here. All of these things, do matter, and they're great differentiators from culture to culture, I think.
Yes, I think so too. And then just being willing to ask those questions and open. Don't
Mhm.
be afraid to ask the questions. And sometimes the question that needs to be asked is, I don't know where to start. Where should I start?
Mhm.
Sometimes it's just as simple as that is, if there's something that you're not really
Mhm.
understanding, you don't really have a good grasp of it yet, just ask that question. Say, be honest. Say, I'm not grabbing what you're giving me. I don't understand. Help me understand. And most times, people are more than happy to help. They'll explain it in a different way. They'll pull out some
Mhm.
examples. I've not once found anybody say to me, well, I'm just done. If you don't understand, too bad for you. Like, most people just don't
Yeah.
do it that way. They really do want to help, and they want you to understand. So that's part of effective communication. You're giving out information, but how is that information being received? And
Mhm.
so most people really will go the extra mile to help you as part of that team. They'll go overboard to try to help you when you have the right culture in your organization. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's the key point here. All of these things that we're talking about, they're great tools, but the culture has to be that type of culture that supports those activities, that is
Mhm.
a team that embraces people and makes them feel welcome. And so you've really got to do some good soul searching on the
Mhm.
culture in that organization, and then begin to apply some of these tips that we're giving you just on the human factors of leadership and how you can make that culture even better.
No doubt about it. I mean, these are learning cultures where people are helping one another grow. And that's really what it comes down to in the new world of work. It's a continuous learning journey. People are all going to be learning. And when, work speeds up because people are helping one another, everyone benefits. The place
Yes.
runs better, more gets done. It's just a better place to work. So when people ask questions, good questions, maybe just even okay questions, say, hey, I appreciate it. Stop by. I'm glad you're learning. I'm glad we're able to help you grow here. Be grateful that people are speaking up, because sometimes they are afraid, and you can help them overcome that kind of hesitancy by, thanking them for coming over to ask a question. Make it
Right.
acceptable, a good thing, and everybody plays their part. Really
Absolutely. You
important.
want everybody to feel like they can contribute effectively. And you
Mhm.
do want to have that kind of environment where people are not walking around stressed all the time. And sometimes when people don't understand how to do their job properly, that leaves them in a state of stress where
Oh,
they're
big
not
time.
able to function at their highest potential because they're so stressed out about what they've been asked to do. So you really do want to pay some close attention to people and start to understand their state of mind. And if this person is walking around and they're stressed out all the time, it may, and not even may, it is absolutely worth your while to dig into that a little bit and find out, are they afraid to ask questions?
Mhm.
Do they just not know which questions to ask? As a leader, you have to take ownership of that culture and make sure that person is blooming to their full potential. And so you've
Mhm.
got to pay attention to people. You got to notice the differences in how they function and then treat them as different human individuals. You can't
Mhm.
treat everybody the same in terms of what motivates people or what causes them to learn or what causes them to feel isolated. You've got to learn all those little nuances about people. And it can seem overwhelming, but there are a lot of things that are just kind of the basics. And being alert and attentive to the people on your team, that's just one of the basics. Just
Mhm.
being able to recognize that people are in a high stress state. And when they're in a high stress state, they're not being creative and they're not able to consume the information that you need them to consume. So, what can
Yeah.
you do as a leader to help alleviate some of that stress? Those are just things that come with it when you're a leader.
Yeah, and as a leader, you really want to encourage these behaviors by making sure everybody understands that they should pay it forward. So if they're the new person and they're the ones getting the help, tomorrow they're going to help somebody else when they come on.
Right,
So this is a virtuous cycle. And
right,
making these things cultural imperatives is really what you have to do because it's all about the speed of work, the quality of the emotional experience, getting more done, having competitive advantage because your organization and culture works better than your competitors. This stuff is just so important. It's everything. The new world of work, it's the speed of work and how well talent is working together. This is what it's all about. Any closing thoughts, Tara?
so don't be afraid to ask those questions. And even if that question starts with, I don't know, help me,
Yeah.
that is a good way to start it off. If you're a little bit lost and you're not following along, don't be afraid to ask for that help and seek others' advice because you'll be
Mhm.
pleasantly rewarded with some great information.
And since we're talking about sharing and helping behaviors, we would like you to share this video. Click on the link below,
Yes.
share it with the people you know, encourage other people to come watch the series. This is important. If you can make it on Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Eastern, join us live. We'd love to have you there. We've had some people stop by. It's been great. So, please feel free to join us on this journey. We hope to have you along. Take care.
Yes. Bye for now.